Hey, we're live. Hooray, we're live and people can hear us like one person who might be listening. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Monster of the Week. Finally, we got through episode 2. Jesus Christ, that took forever, but we finally did. Does anybody but Joe want to do the recap?
1, 2, 3, not it.
Okay, well, I guess that leaves me.
Well, Joe wasn't really here, so...
Right. So, when we came back, me and Joe were in the basement surrounded by the Nightmare Eaters, and Brosidon and Sam Tamaki, I can never remember what her name is, Tamaki, crashed down through the kitchen floor into the basement where we are, and they finished destroying the Nightmare Eaters. We had a fastball special. It was great. And then we had a cleanup crew come in and get everything cleaned up and repaired. We had the Ashley, is that her name?
Yes.
Ashley. We had Ashley's memory wiped, so she would not remember everything that happened, so she would be good to go. And now Joe is, I guess, with us officially, unofficially. So, yeah, that's where we left off.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I wonder, like, when they did the memory wipe, what did they do about her dog that went missing? Like, what did they implant there? Were they just like, oh, the dog ran away? Or does she just go like, wow, my dog's missing and it's weird?
They turned into an alien baby.
Turned into an alien baby and flew away. I don't think that's the best way to cover up somebody's horrible traumatic memories. Of, like 4 people breaking into their house and...
Well, they should take all that away. And no, they should take all that away. And then in her dream, that's what happens. And then when she wakes up, she's like, was that real? And then she questions it for the rest of her life.
I think that may be a fate worse than actually remembering. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start the episode off. So it's actually a very special time in the city in which you reside. It is actually...
St. Patrick's Day.
No, but you're kind of close. So as the camera opens up over the city and flies through the streets, you can see that there's a lot more people than usual. There's a parade going on. In fact, it's going almost right past the bookstore. I always forget the name, the Bookworm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty loud outside with people cheering and things. It's about a street over, block or 2 away maybe, but there's enough crowd that it's loud enough because it's Derby Week.
I knew you were going to say that. And I was like, no, it's Derby Week. I can't escape it.
Yeah.
Literally can't escape.
So the idea that I had was this would be great, the weekend of Derby. And then we took forever to finish up the last one. And we lost Joe.
Yes, we did.
Oh, this is going swimmingly so far. So, yeah,
He's
it's
still
Derby
unconscious.
week.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he's here. He's just not here. So many
He's here in
technical
our heart.
difficulties. Exactly. He'll always be here in our hearts. So it's Derby time. There's parades and lots of people coming and going from the city. You've had a lot more foot traffic into the bookstore, just because people from out of town are like, haha, look at this bookstore. It's really neat. Let's go check it out. And then they come in and annoy you.
Oh my god, it's just like I just see her face as being when people go ask her questions at work.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. So
It's apparently pretty bad.
yeah, it can be. It definitely can be. So, yeah, so you've got a lot of people coming in and they're like touching your books, being obnoxious and asking stupid questions like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And you're like, "Get the fuck out! No public restrooms. Why are
Okay,
you
so
here?"
this whole time I'm making Instagram stories about her facial expressions.
So you're just sitting in as when somebody comes in, you're just like, "Yes," and you're just
Yeah.
taking a picture of the faces she's making at people as they come in. It's like hashtag Derby Week. Oh, god damn it, Joe. I was hoping we could stall long enough. What did happen? Oh my god, I can't speak English either. So, yeah, so people are coming in. It's been a good week or two. Things have quieted down quite a bit. You haven't had anything to do as far as work-wise with the Spooky organization, and it's just been kind of relaxing. What would you say in a situation like that? What would you guys have been doing? What would Luca have done with the downtime, you think?
Probably just research, to be honest. Because that's all she does, so...
Just reading. Just
Yep.
reading, which is getting ever more difficult to do the closer it gets to Derby, of course, with
I can
people
imagine.
constantly interrupting. Yeah.
I don't appreciate Tamaki's Instagram of my entire life.
So I picture that as a series of like 3 or 4 pictures where somebody walks in and it's like a picture of them approaching the counter. This next picture is you giving them that look, like, what the fuck are you doing here? And the third one is you like shooing them away. And then the fourth one is you like pointing an angry finger at Tamaki for taking the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a series every time.
And then obviously, whenever the chow wagons happen, Poseidon and I go and like destroy everything and eat everything.
Yeah, just like all the funnel cakes. Oh, that sounds good.
As long as you bring me one.
Of course.
I love funnel cakes.
But I'm not going to leave to get one.
Nope.
Joe's almost back. We're so close. And as far as Tamaki, what's Tamaki been doing?
Other than harassing Luca.
Other than that, well, I mean, I think that's a given. I think that's pretty much, whether it's meant to happen or not, I think that's probably what happens.
I guess I'm keeping up on my J-pop and trying to figure out a new style. There's a bunch of tourists around, so I'm probably like stalking people and stealing their money.
Just casually picking pockets.
Yeah, it's been very lucrative.
Well, I mean, you gotta fund the wardrobe somehow.
Mhm.
And on this particular occasion, how is Tamaki dressed today?
Hang on, I gotta find a picture. Let me find a picture, so we'll come back to that. I'm trying to think.
Joe, are you here yet? If you're speaking, you're still muted, by the way, Joe.
He's probably just muted, and he doesn't know how to unmute him.
I think I would give him a little more credit than that.
Just, I mean, he did it by himself earlier.
What?
Furious typing.
What
Always.
You're broken. I mean, it's not as bad as Drea, so.
That's just because I'm out of work.
Can't get his headset to work. Did
Why
you
did he not use
try plugging it in?
Did you try turning it off and on?
Yeah, just try turning it off and on again.
Oh, he's cute.
It's definitely plugged. Is it plugged into the right one? Because sometimes there's more than one.
Did you update your drivers?
Yeah, because that worked so well for you. Check for a power button that you didn't know was there that locks the keyboard.
We don't need to be talking about that.
No, we don't need to, but we are. Because that's how I roll.
Hey, at least I figured it out before I returned it.
This is true. This is very, very true.
Okay, well, I know I'm gonna have a blonde wig on, because I'm gonna dress as Jeremy from You're Beautiful. I'm trying to find the right outfit.
Okay. Well, so Brosidon has actually, about a week or so back, just kind of disappeared. I get to keep doing this. It's great. We're going to build that backstory one way or a fucking another. I swear. So
Either disappeared or he gets the swine flu.
yeah, he disappeared. He did leave a note, and it was just very brief and to the point. Basically just said, got some stuff I got to do. I'll be back as quickly as I can. And he just kind of disappeared and hasn't been back since. Not that that changes much, just because he was never, from my understanding, he was never really majorly there. Like, he was just kind of in the background looming more than anything. Silent guardian type that he is.
Well, this is also why I'm bothering her so much, because I miss him. So what else am I supposed to do?
Exactly. She has nobody else to annoy at the moment.
That's the only reason I haven't thrown her out yet.
Because you don't want to have to explain that to Brosidon when he gets back.
Yes.
Oh, Joe, are you there?
You all
Okay.
hear me now.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
I found what I'm wearing.
Awesome.
Problem solved. Hooray. Fantastic. Now you'll know how to do it for next time. I assume you jumped over to the laptop?
Well, I tried, and then it kept doing this weird thing, so now I'm back to my phone, so
Gotcha. Well, whatever works.
I'll work on it.
Okay, so Tamaki, describe how you're dressed today for those who can't see this.
So this is K-pop. There's this Korean drama that's called You're Beautiful, and there's a guy named Jeremy, and he has like this, I don't know, I mean, it's not long, it's like medium, like, blonde hair that's like, has a little emo swoosh, and he has tight red pants on with a black belt that has some accents, and a white button-down shirt with a tie, and then like a red plaid, whatever the hell that is.
Another red plaid
like
shirt over it.
Blazer. It looks like a blazer almost.
Yeah, it does. It's like a
Yeah.
very short blazer, which
But
is
I
kind of
think-
weird, but
I think I'm gonna change it. It's gonna look like that, but it's gonna be red leather.
it's gonna okay. So it's gonna have you're gonna have like a red leather jacket or red leather pants because that sounds awful.
Red leather.
Everything,
No, red leather jacket. Not
Gotcha. Everything leather. So
No.
suddenly this turns into Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Today Tamaki's going to be the Gimp, apparently. Anyway, okay, so Brosidon has been missing for about a week, but he did leave that note that says basically, I've got some things to do. I'll be back as soon as I can once they're taken care of.
What's
So,
Joe's character name? Joe's, what's your name again?
Joe.
I love that jacket. Yeah, it's that jacket. That's cute as shit. I'd wear that.
I would wear that.
I
That's
would too
gorgeous.
if I was thin and not
You would
fat.
look-
I would look
Gorgeous.
terrible. Nothing looks good on fat people. That's what I've decided.
Everything looks great on you.
So Joe suffered
But
some head trauma
Joe,
in the
okay.
last game.
So as we're waiting
Like
for
it's a
Joe,
hangover.
I'm making him sandwiches and putting outside his door.
He hasn't been in a coma. He's just
Huh?
like he's just been in a coma for 2 weeks. Nobody's really
Yeah, they're
too
just
concerned.
stacking up.
He's
I make him one every single day.
So, Joe, you were informed that you are now a part of this group. Well, you weren't really given an option. You received a phone call. In fact, let's rewind back to when you regained consciousness a day or two after the last event happened, and you get a phone call, and so your phone is ringing. What's your ringtone? I wonder what would Joe's ringtone be?
Some sort of like classic rock,
Some classic rock. Okay.
It'd be horses in the back.
Oh God. I really would hope not. Ugh. Okay, so some classic rock. It's like some AC/DC or something. I'm figuring Big Balls would probably be it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, let's go with that. That's awesome. That's a great pick.
So it starts ringing. That is an awesome coat. I could
I've
never wear
spiraled
that
into a
either.
dark abyss. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I figured you probably got distracted a little bit. So
Yes.
Because of my music choice.
No, because of the leather jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
It's dark abyss.
So Joe, you're like relaxing and just kind of recovering, and you hear Big Balls start playing from your phone. Go ahead and answer your phone.
hello. Who is
I don't
this?
know why I was totally expecting
you
it,
laughing
and
at
yet it took me off guard completely. So oh hello, hon. This is Doris. We've never met, but pretty sure you're well aware of what's going on now.
Well, sort of. I actually have no idea what's going on. What are we talking about?
Okay, well, here's the rundown, honey. You're now part of S.P.O.O.C.I, the special police organization for... shit, I always forget it. For occult crime investigations. Fuck, I remembered it. Yes. Alright, okay. So, basically what that means, honey, is you're gonna have to help take care of problems of the supernatural kind that are gonna be happening in the area. We've had our eye on you for a while anyway. We were scouting you. You just happened to come to us first. So welcome to the organization, honey. If you have any questions, concerns, just give us a call anytime. Just save this number.
All right. I will save this number. It's I guess glad to be part of this team that I kind of got voluntold to do. But thank you.
Absolutely. Give me a call anytime, honey. Take care of yourself.
All right. Thanks.
And it just clicks while you're saying thank you. It just clicks. Doris doesn't give a fuck. She's been at it for a while. So, let me see. Let me see here. I want to check something. So, I mean, you kind of know what spooky is. You've kind of heard of it, but you didn't really think it was real. You've been doing the whole hunting monsters and spirits and things for a little while, just kind of on your own. You knew you weren't the only person who had powers, things of that nature. You just didn't realize that it was so organized. But you had heard those rumors, so you're not super surprised, but you're still just kind of like, oh, wow, that's real. Kind of like when you read a fact on Facebook, and you're like, that can't be real. So then you Google it, and you're like, whoa, shit, that's real. It's,
Was there an article in
Are
the
you telling
Onion
me
about?
that things on Facebook aren't true?
yeah, exactly. Almost nothing on Facebook is true, to be quite honest. So yeah,
All
fun
these
times.
years wasted.
Yeah. So you're not super surprised. It's just new to you. You're used to working by yourself. So this was about a week back that you got this phone call. In the meantime, you've been able to get the lay of the land as far as the dynamics of this group, who does what the library itself. You have become acquainted with the cat. What was the cat's name? I forget the cat's name.
Is this a cat?
Yes, there's a cat that lives in the office. We discussed this. It hasn't come up yet. I don't remember, what was the cat's name?
I would name the cat Atticus.
Atticus? That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out why soon. So Atticus is a cat that lives
We're
here.
gonna make a
Um,
spill.
it's the same cat, but it looks different all the time because it's interdimensional. So it will just be different versions of itself from time to time from different dimensions. But it's always Atticus. It's always the same cat. And he just kind of hangs around and keeps the
Can he have
bugs
like
out and stuff.
a spot on his ear that is always the same?
Right, like a kind of like an identifying mark. Like
Yeah.
when you see the spot, you know that it's always Atticus because that's always there.
And it looks, but the spot is always the same, but it's like a Rorschach. Different people see different things.
That's
Yeah.
okay, sure. We can go with that. I don't know how that helps identify the cat, but
It doesn't, but it's always this, I don't know, okay?
it's always like this the same sort of look to it. Just
Yeah.
but like a Rorschach, you can see what you want in it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like people, we
Yeah,
go
so-
through about what the spot is.
Right,
all
so
the
you would
time.
recognize it if you saw it, even though it doesn't
Yeah.
really look like anything.
Mhm.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So it's just a little spot on the ear where that always happens. That's how you always know it's Atticus. So at the moment, there's a couple of out-of-towners in the bookstore just kind of looking around. They're whispering amongst themselves, not really saying much, because they're just like, what the fuck? Because there's all these old dusty books and nothing new. And one of them is a younger lady, and she walks up to the counter where I'm assuming Luca is reading from a gigantic tome as usual.
Always.
Oh god. And she says, "Excuse me, do you have the new Twilight book?"
Oh.
Not one of these
That's
people.
what Tamaki does in the corner while he's taking pictures. Oh.
He goes, "That was absolutely the wrong thing to say." Oh.
I just kind of like, I don't even bother to look up from the book. I just like move my hand over and like rest my forehead against my hand, and I just like stare down at the book, pretending like I can't see her.
She just kind of stands there, unsure what to do. So she looks to her companion, and he's just back there like, "Fuck, I don't know." Like, I thought people in the city were supposed to be nice. Why won't you help me?
We have nothing that you're looking for. I still don't look up from my book. I just say I have nothing that you're looking for.
She just kind of goes, "Oh my god." And so rude. Let's get the fuck out of here. And the dude who just looks just browbeaten, like he deals with this shit all the time, and he kind of hates it. Kind of hates her. He just walks away, and they leave, and you hear the doorbell jingle. A few moments later, you hear it jingle again.
I give an exasperated sigh, and I look up, and I look around, and the first thing I see, obviously, is Tamaki in the corner.
When she looks at me, I wave.
So in walks we'll say a somewhat portly gentleman. He is balding a little bit, but not a lot. He's definitely got thinning hair. It's a bit of a lighter color. Not quite blonde, but very much a dirty blonde sort of color. Close cut. And he's wearing a white suit. He basically looks like Colonel Sanders, but a younger version. And he walks. He walks. God, this is gonna be so awful. And he walks in, up to the counter. And says, I need your help, young lady. I'm looking for a spooky."
Your laugh sound. I can just see Tamaki in the corner laughing. I like glare at Tamaki while she laughs hysterically.
Well, I mean, Colonel Sanders basically just walked in. So, a younger Colonel Colonel Sanders. Anyway, he's got like the tie, like the whole fucking 9 yards.
Yes. I have so many pictures of being taken.
So I look back at this guy and I say, "Spooky, who writes that?"
uh, pardon me, miss, but you don't think that I'm some sort of an idiot, do you? You're spooky. I know, the Special Police Organization. Fuck for the.
Oh, you are dumb.
Fuck, I messed it up again. Special Police Organization for Occult Crime Investigation. Gonna get it right the first time one day. Oh God. Oh, and I need to make this accent way more southern, but I can't do it. It hurts me internally to do it.
I believe that.
Yes, it does. I am no fool, young lady, and I need your help.
What do you need help with?
Well, have you heard of perhaps the event going on in the city right now? The Kentucky Derby, I say.
Absolutely not. Never heard of the Kentucky Derby before.
Well, while I find that hard to believe, miss, I do say you will need to help me. There's a problem. Someone is trying to cheat to win the Kentucky Derby.
I'm sure that's not very uncommon. And how does that need a spooky?
Well, because they're using magic, to be quite honest. Voodoo, perhaps. I couldn't say for sure myself. I don't get too far into that. Let me introduce myself real quick. Let's see why this is funny. I am Colonel Atticus J. Buford of the Mississippi Bufords. Perhaps you've heard of us. We have a long line of restaurant chains. Buford.
Oh, okay.
So he turns around as Tamaki says this and goes, Buford, ma'am?
I'm dressed as a man right now.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. I feel like Tamaki always just kind of looks that androgynous femininity look, like that's a very pretty man-woman, maybe? Like, it's just hard to tell no matter what. Plus, he's very southern and he's not very good with gender assignments.
You know when, confident guys come in and they put their hand in their pocket and they'll shove their cock forward and, put their shoulders back?
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Gotcha. So, there's a word for that, and I can't think of what it is. Like you're puffing out your chest kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Peacocking.
Peacocking.
That is it, yes. I knew the word cock was in there somewhere, and I could not think of what it was, and I didn't really want to mess it up too much. Okay, so you're back there peacocking. The colonel pays you no mind and turns back around. I say, what are you going to do about this, ma'am? This is a very big problem. I've got a lot of money on the line, and we need your help.
Oh, what makes you think someone is using magicka to rig the Kentucky Derby?
So, I come in here talking about a secret international organization that handles supernatural mysteries and occult crimes, and you're questioning why I would think that. I have a lot of money, ma'am. You may recognize me from the commercials.
So my ears hurt.
Do you like... It's just like, do you like fried chicken, ma'am?
Not particularly.
Well, that's quite a shame. I'm sure we can probably find something on our menu for you. But we have a lot of money in my state. I come from a long line of chicken restaurateurs.
Connoisseurs.
And when you have enough money, ma'am, you just know things. And enough money will get you anything you want.
Do you have any information on who may be using said magicka to rig the Kentucky Derby?
I am not sure. What I can do is point you in the right direction. We are going to be having a party coming very soon in the next day or so.
Potty?
A party.
We have one upstairs.
Actually, let me raise it back. We're going to be having a little get-together for all the horse owners, one of which I am. And I believe one of the other ones is cheating, just based on certain things that I hear and see. We would like to let you into this party so you can investigate. Black tie affair, very fancy. Invitation only.
This isn't gonna be one of those where we're gonna dress up as waiters, cause...
Well, no. Kind of turns to look at you. The things that come to mind. He says, no, you would be my honored guests, sir. He His wheels are turning. He's not really sure what's going on anymore over in that
So
corner.
I just heard that I get to make a new outfit, so I'm excited and I'm more into this. So I look more like, okay, this is cool.
Just kind of.
Luca kind of scoffs when he says, "Sir," questionably, and then she sees the look on Tomiki's face of the idea of getting to create a new outfit, and I just go, "Okay, fine. I guess we'll come and investigate."
Well, good. I'm certainly glad to hear. I would have thought it would be best to come in myself and speak face to face instead of giving a call to Doris. She really doesn't like people very much, does she?
Not particularly, no.
No, can't say I blame her in most cases, ma'am. Well, you will be hearing very soon from one of my attendees, and they will bring you a car. You do have appropriate party wear.
Probably not.
Somehow I already knew that was the case. Don't worry, I will bill anything directly back to Spooky headquarters. I will send someone around with a car here shortly, and he will assist you in getting appropriately attired for the coming party. And I look forward to seeing you all there. I must go and attend a few events,
Okay,
show
tell
my
me when
face,
he's walking out.
and he says, "Good day, ma'am." Turns around
Okay,
to Tamaki and is like, nods, and then turns to leave.
Okay, I nod back and I start sneaking up and I'm gonna try to steal something.
And try to steal something. Okay, go ahead and roll for it.
Okay, hang on. I gotta remember what I add to it.
Probably cool, if I had to guess.
11.
It's charm. You add charm.
Charm? Okay, yeah, it's 11 still.
It's 11. Okay. Get it. Okay, so you're trying to steal something small. What are you trying to steal from him? You're like, I have no idea. So you reach
A
in.
pocket watch.
You reach into his pocket, and you
Yeah.
pull out a small. Looks like an antique pocket watch. It's not gold. It's like brass. Looks like a train conductor would have had. It's not elaborate. It's very simple, and you tug on it, and you're able to get the chain off and all of that fun stuff. And he walks out the door, and you hear the bell ring, and he is now gone. So that's why I'm like Atticus, really. Had to be Atticus. Took me forever to come up with that name, by the way. Like appropriately Southern. Atticus J. Buford.
Beautiful.
I know, isn't it though? I'll work on the accent. It kind of came and went, but I tried my best.
It was okay.
That's all we can ask.
I know, right? It got the point across at least. I hope. Okay, so you've got some time to prepare for the upcoming. You know what? We also need to do because we'll assume Joe's been like upstairs still napping. Not a whole lot going on this point in time, and while he was sleeping, he did have a dream. Go ahead and roll for a premonition for me, please, because I forgot we were going to do that.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Then I add.
Probably
What
weird. Yep, add your weird, which is 2.
So 9 total.
9 total, okay. Okay. So on a 9, you get clouded images of something bad that is yet to happen. So as you're sleeping, you do start to go into kind of a little bit of a nightmare. And what you see is, you see a bunch of horses, and they're in a stable, and you see a, we'll go all cliche, you see a dark figure kind of walking around to each of the horses and holding out a hand with something in it. And you hear your own voice, but it's not your voice, it's somebody else's, like you're in somebody else. Say, "Hey, what are you doing? Stop that!" And the figure kind of tries to run away, and you chase after them. And as you turn a corner, things just kind of go black, and you fall to the ground, and you get the feeling that probably not a very good thing has happened here. And then you wake up with a start because you're like, fuck, it's one of these again.
As the bell from downstairs ringing.
Yeah, as the bell from downstairs is ringing. So, what would you like to do about this, Joe? I'm going to start, by the way, pushing the role playing from you guys and the communication between you guys. I'm going to try pushing for that as much as possible. It makes my life easier.
So, first thing I want to do is actually get up and actually go to the others and let them know about my premonition.
Gotcha. So everybody has like a room upstairs, so you come down the stairs, you push through the beaded curtain. Luca's at the desk. The colonel has just left. Tamaki is over there in the corner, just like, hee! Super excited.
Is that how you see me?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Both as Tamaki and as Sam.
Look at that ball of laughter right there.
Yeah.
So, hey, I just had another weird dream.
Did it have anything to do with horses?
How did you know?
We had the colonel come in.
The colonel?
Sanders? I think that's what it was.
I think his name actually might have been Buford? I don't know.
Bartholomew.
But anyway, it's beside the point. He is afraid that someone is trying to rig the Kentucky Derby, which isn't uncommon, but he thinks that someone is using magic to do it this year, so he wants us to investigate.
Interesting. Well, I did happen to notice, like, in this premonition or dream or whatever it was I had, it did involve horses. It involved some sort of figure giving, like, these horses something by hand. And then I started to chase this person before, like, my premonition, like, went out completely.
Are you sure?
And that's why I woke up.
Cubes.
I mean, I couldn't directly see like what it was. At least I don't think I could. It was kind of cloudy, but I don't know. There's something about it still gave me like the same kind of vibe from the last mission that we all went on.
So we may be better off in the stables than we will be at this party.
We still gotta go meet and greet.
Wait, there's a party?
Apparently, yes. We've been invited to the colonel's party to meet the other people who are the horse owners that he fears are trying to rig the party, or rig the race. I can't talk today.
It's okay. It's okay, me either.
Get there eventually.
Too many people coming in and out of the bookstores.
You should see mini series on Insta.
I would rather not.
Okay, so it sounds like you're not convinced that going to the party is actually the best idea.
I think that going to the party is a good idea. I also get free clothes out of it for us.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can still go to the party, but if Joe's vision is at the stables, that's usually, it seems like, the best place to start.
But don't you remember the 3 rules of solving a mystery that we learned in Spooky School? Reconnaissance, and I don't know what the other 2 are, but I know one of them was reconnaissance.
You just want to go to the party.
Meh.
She's just standing in the corner like, maybe.
I have one question about the party.
Yes.
Will there be chicken?
Probably.
Yes. But we gotta go to the party.
Yes, because as we all know, Joe Winchester has been on the move quite a bit in his past history, moving from town to town, and he very frequently would visit the Colonel's establishments. It's Buford Fried Chicken, all over the U.S. At
Well,
least
I'm gonna
200
assume that
stores
they
in
have
all 50
pie.
states.
I'm gonna assume that they have pie there.
Even better. We need to go.
Well, it's a rich derby party, so I'm sure you can assume what sort of
There's
refreshments there
probably
will
at
be.
least
Oh,
derby
there'll be
pie.
there'll
Just,
be
Did
very
no one
high
else get
swanky
that?
booze.
yeah, Joe, there's an open bar. like,
I mean, first of all, a Winchester would be more
My
excited by
character just starts
pie. But
drooling
still.
at the mouth
Yes,
a little
you
bit.
would.
see, I don't know, Joe. When you decided that your character was Joe Winchester, were you watching Supernatural?
No.
I didn't think so, so I didn't say anything. But I thought that was pretty funny. So
He does watch Supernatural though, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit of time goes by. How would you like to spend the time? You've got an hour or so before the car is probably going to be around to pick you up.
I'm gonna go up to Joe, put my hand on his shoulder, and then pat it and be like, real intimate be like, I think you're doing a great job. And I got you a present. And then give him the pocket watch. It's an old family heirloom. And I think that it will go better with your eyes than mine. I have a more modern style.
I was just looking at it and saying, I kind of wish this was a sandwich.
Did you
You
miss?
have a whole
How many
stack of
sandwiches
them
in front
outside
of
your
the door?
door.
And by the way, would someone move those? You want ants? That's how you get ants. Only thing that comes to mind for that. So, yeah. How do you guys want to spend your time? And in fact, let me check something here. Okay, and Luca needs to roll for me because Luca is the woman with the plan.
Ah.
I always forget about these things.
12.
Holy shit. Okay, 12 it is. You guys just stopped failing rolls, didn't you? Okay, so you can so you can hold 2 at this point. You can spend the hold to be where you need to be, prepared and ready. You get to hold 2. That's really annoying for me. Yeah, so
Okay.
so remember that. So I don't think we ever really decided exactly how that shit's supposed to work, but we'll
Okay.
figure it out one day.
Well, I want to use my downtime researching, of course, the horses and who all is supposed to be in the Derby, and that includes jockeys, trainers, and owners.
Gotcha. And that's reasonable. A quick Google search at the very least could get most of that information. But of course,
Right.
With your skills and access to the Spooky database and such, you can get as much information as you end up needing on things. So,
Yep. So that's how I spend my time.
okay. How about you, Joe? How does Joe spend his time? Jojo.
Oh, I'm taking Joe out shopping.
Well, the car hasn't come around yet, but
Oh.
this is the time between now and when the car arrives to take you. It's
He's
mid-afternoon.
just pacing back and forth in front of the door waiting for the car.
Yeah.
Definitely don't have any, of the appropriate attire for this. So, I kind of need something. Is there something in our location that I can find, some sort of wardrobe or whatever to wear to this get up
No,
that we're going through?
don't have to worry about it. The colonel is going to send a car around, and
Oh, that
Pay
has
attention,
everything.
Joe.
Okay.
right, they'll take you where you need to go to get whatever you need for this very fancy party. Black tie affair, of course.
Gotcha. I'll just start cleaning my guns and get ready to blast the shit out of stuff. Open.
And Tamaki just paces waiting, possibly eating a sandwich.
Luca
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
let me
probably
do it
gonna
last time, so I'm hoping this time maybe.
Yes, no guns in close quarters.
Not even around the horses.
No!
Especially not around the horses. Start a stampede? That's how you get stampedes. Okay, so the hour or so passes, and it's getting into later afternoon. The party doesn't start till like 9 o'clock after sundown, and you have plenty of time. So the car comes around, and a very tall, very bald gentleman, kind of like Jason Statham but on steroids, pulls up in a limo and lets you guys in and takes you around to. He'll get you wherever you need to go to get whatever it is that you need to get. So, Joe, it's a black tie affair. Assumably, you just need a tux. So he definitely gets you
I'm thinking
a tux.
that can I add something to this world?
Okay.
So I'm thinking that since we have so many like underground connections, there has to be some kind of, I don't know, mythical fey creature who's super fancy that I know that has a shop that's like hidden somewhere.
Are they Khajiit?
It's in the Highlands.
Khajiit has wares if you have money.
Yep.
I mean, there's definitely shops around. Not everything that's supernatural around is going to be bad. Just most of the things you guys deal with are.
No, they're just really.
Shop ran by fairies.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
like the head. It's like the best magical. I don't know, outfit maker in Louisville. I want to go there.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, so.
Because I feel like we can't go to a normal shop. We should go to something like that. And obviously, I know them.
Okay, so you request to be taken around to a shop that you know that's being run by a magical being. We'll go with it for the moment till I figure out what the fuck is going on. And hold on. I just had I had an idea and I lost it.
I mean, it could be a gnome.
So you request to go around to the Avalon Mercantile. And it's tucked away, of course, on Bardstown Road, the Highlands area. Very well. Where else could it possibly be? Let's be honest. Right. It's not even really tucked away. It's right on the main strip. They've got a big window with lots of clothing and various other goods in there. In fact, accessories, earrings, bracelet, and everything that you would need. And when you walk in, you're greeted by a very tall, slender, very pretty elven, which you guys know, you can tell it. The average person wouldn't really be able to tell. And when you walk in the door, he immediately recognizes Tamaki, and he goes, "Oh, Tamaki! Welcome back! It's been so long, honey. What can I do for today?"
Oh, we have a wonderfully big order for you. We have a fancy dress party.
Oh, sounds terribly fancy. How fancy are we talking, honey?
The fanciest.
Oh, so fancy. Gotcha.
You know the Colonel?
Well,
you know Colonel Sanders? He'll be there.
Colonel Sanders? Isn't he dead? I thought he was dead.
Oh, what's this motherfucker's name?
I'm not going to remind you. I totally have it written down.
Atticus Buford.
Buford, I love his chicken. It's so good. But you know what the best part is? It's the potato wedges. It's the best. Anyway, yes, honey, we'll definitely get you outfitted with appropriate attire. What do you want? Do you want something poofy? Do you want something slinky? Are we going for cute? What are we going for?
I require a suit.
Oh. Yeah.
Because I will not be caught dead in a dress.
Don't worry, darling. I will be wearing the dress.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
I need something to hide all my guns in.
To hide all your guns in. Okay, we don't sell bags of holding. They're actually illegal in the magic trade. We can't bring those to the human world. I'm sorry. Well, just think about what a problem that would be for airport security. You'd be there for hours just waiting to go through because somebody had a bag of holding and they're pulling out everything they owned ever in their life. Big problems. We can't do that.
I mean, you got some that like have a
So
magical
as soon
barrier
as
or
he's
something.
done with that, I'm gonna pat my pocket and just be like,
Okay.
Tamaki just giggles uncomfortably.
Okay, don't worry, honey. We'll get you all set up with whatever you need. Kind of looks at Joe and goes, "We can do your hair and give you a shave too if you'd like. Make you a little more presentable."
What are you
Sounds
saying?
like a great plan to me.
What are you saying?
Hold on. Thank you. That's really loud.
Oh, that was a commercial. I'm sorry.
Good Lord. Trying to do stuff here. I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
he
What was
said,
that?
"What are you saying?"
And I said it sounds like a good plan to me.
I'm saying you look homeless, honey. And you're going to a fancy party with the Colonel? Yeah. You need
Look,
to
even
look a little
even
better than
Luca
that.
laughed at that one.
Yes, I'll go
So
with
as
the
soon as she
haircut.
says that, I'm gonna go over to her side and just give him the look that's like, mm-hmm.
Just go on in the back, and Ailsa will help you out. Okay, she'll get you all set up. She'll get your hair cut. We'll get your beard trimmed. We'll even get you a little bit of a mask. Maybe get rid of those circles under your eyes. You look like you haven't been sleeping well. We'll get you looking good. No worries. And I forgot, what was this person's name? Did I say it?
I don't think you
I
named
don't think
them.
I did. Okay, we need a name for this rather fabulous being that I'm probably enjoying way more than I should.
Fancy Pants McGee.
You said it's a
Lana
male,
Fair.
right?
Yes.
What'd you say? Sam?
Yeah.
Lana Fair.
Fancy Pants McGee.
Fancy Pants McGee. That's down the street. Thank you. Right next
Oh.
to the men's warehouse. Ugh.
I almost would have preferred to go there. They wouldn't have made fun of my beard.
Yes, they would have.
I don't know. I'm like looking and I just can't find anything. I can't find anything I like. I need a name before we can move on though.
Zach.
We'll go with no. We'll go with
Arwen.
Arwen. How about Nixie? I like Nixie.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Nixie's good.
Nixie. Okay, so Nixie walks over to Luca and says, "And don't worry, honey, we'll get you a super nice suit. I'm thinking pinstripes, just
I
like
love
the thinnest of
pinstripes.
pinstripes. It's gonna be nice and fitted. You're gonna look fabulous.
Thank you.
And just go in the back and go with Una. Una will get you all measured up, and we'll get that out in a jiffy. No worries." And kind of pushes you to the back, and then I'm never gonna remember. Then Nixie walks over to Tamaki and goes, "Honey, you know I'm gonna do this myself, just for you. What do you want? What are we going for?"
I'm thinking Lolita.
Oh, we gonna go goth lolly today?
Hell yes.
I mean,
Tell
that's.
me,
I
girl.
don't know if it's fancy enough for this party, but you're gonna kill it anyway, so we'll do it. We'll get your hair done. It's gonna be great. Do we need a wig?
Of course.
Of course, absolutely. We will have that ready. We'll get it all picked out. So, takes you to the back, and everybody's kind of. We go to a montage at this point with like everybody getting their hair cut and stuff, and of course, Luca and Tamaki are loving every bit of it, and Joe is hating every second of it, I'm sure.
I utterly despise everything that's going on.
And of course, we go through the montage of trying outfits on and things, stuff of that nature. But ultimately, we land exactly upon what we're looking for. Everybody's got nice, dark colors, dark pinstripe suit for Luca with Actually,
You
the
said
thinnest of
black tie,
pinstripes.
right?
Black tie affair. So Joe is just there in a tuxedo. Not super fancy, but still working. So.
Oh.
I mean, it's enough for me to hide my gun still, so I'm a little okay with it.
Right, I mean, you can tuck it into the
You need
waistband,
that
that sort of
pinstripe
thing.
suit in real life. It would look gorgeous.
I would definitely wear that.
I would too, but I would look terrible in it. As aforementioned, fat guys don't look good in anything, so.
I would have to have a different color tie though.
Yeah, I would
'Cause
go with a different
I
color
do not
tie.
like that tie.
I don't either.
Yeah. Okay, so after the montage goes, everybody like steps out from their respective dressing rooms. And Nixie stands back and just he's clutching his pearls. He's, oh, you all look gorgeous. We do such good work here. Thank you so much. Because he just really, more than anything, he just likes giving people makeovers. It's like his favorite thing in the world ever.
And then start squealing.
And he does too, so you guys just kind of grasp each other's hands. You go, wee! And you kind of jump up and down a little bit. You know, that sort of thing. Yes. He's so there with it, so into it. Oh, you bring me so many pretty people to work with. And Joe, thank you so much, Tamaki. You know you're welcome here anytime, honey. And he leans in and
I won't be back.
and he leans in and he does the kiss to each cheek thing, and he's like, have fun at the party, everybody, and let us know if you need anything else anytime.
Thanks, Nixie.
God, I need to write all of this down because I have a feeling we'll probably end up back here at some point.
Yes, they're the official clothing of the Spooky organization.
I know, right? Okay. All right, so when you guys get outside the store, and the driver is there, Jason Statham, but bigger, because why not? He just opens the door and lets you guys in, and it's about time for the party, so he gets into the front seat, and he reaches back, and he's holding 3 invitations. They're very fancy envelopes with your names each on them, which is like, how did they get our names? But, it's a thing. They're very much for each of you individually. There is no +1. It's a single use only. No re-entry. And he drives you guys to the... Hold on, let me see, because I actually had something kind of specific in mind for this. So he drives you through downtown Louisville, and the streets are pretty crowded. The sun is just starting to go down, and the street lights are coming on and things. It's very much, the city is kind of in a party mode. It's been cleaned up. There's people out drunk everywhere, but they're not super drunk yet because it's still pretty early. It's the day before Derby. People are really starting to get the party going. And he drives you to the Glassworks, which is, if you haven't been, it's a big, I know, right? It's a big factory type building downtown, and I believe on the top of that, don't they have like an area you can rent out for parties, and it overlooks the river?
It's like a balcony and everything. It's gorgeous.
I have not been up there myself. I really wish I could, but I haven't. And yeah. So it's very, very fancy party when you come in, and you ride the elevator up. I'm assuming it's like one of those big cargo type elevators that's going to take you up there, and you're all just
actually, it's
kind of in
very
there.
small.
Is it? Well, in my mind, it's different. Okay, because it's like the party is just kind of starting to get going when you guys get there. And you ride the elevator up, and it's a big cargo elevator. You guys are kind of standing shoulder to shoulder, waiting for the doors to open when it stops. And it opens up, and you can see out.
Nobody knows.
And you can see out across the river, and it's all very pretty. And the sun is going down, and the dim lighting is there. Everything's decorated really nice, just really fucking way fancier than anything any of you ever have a right to be doing.
Assuming.
Yeah, I am assuming much, and yeah, so the party is there, and you see that the colonel is at the bar, and he has what is probably a glass of whiskey that he's sipping on, and just kind of sitting there by
Bourbon?
himself. Bourbon, yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't drink that shit.
It's Kentucky. It's probably
So,
bourbon.
okay, and of course, Luca, as when you step off of the elevator and you look around, just a cursory glance, you do notice a lot of the people that you had found in your research on the various trainers and jockeys and owners of the horses are here. Not necessarily all of them, but quite a number of them are. And of course, there's lots of other people that are here. Maybe a couple of minor celebrities. We're talking C-list. The Colonel's not that rich. Not going to get A-list celebrities here. Some local celebrities, fucking the local weather guy is always at these things for some ungodly reason. He's there. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out last, and obviously I have a parasol, so I'm gonna open it and then like put it behind my shoulder, my left shoulder, and then twirl it as I walk out. Look fancy AF.
Definitely fancy as fuck, for sure.
Is it one of the black lace ones?
Of course, my darling.
I love those.
I know you do too.
We got one. Karen got one. We went to the Renaissance Festival the year before last, and she got one to carry around, and it immediately broke.
Oh no!
We were sad. Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't too expensive, but still, it's like, what the fuck? So, yeah. So, that is really cool. So, you're at the party, you step out, and as you all step out, you just kind of, various members of the party just kind of look at you. They're just like, what the hell? Everybody is very much more typically attired for a fancy party. Joe gets fewer looks for what he's wearing than just being Joe. So, because you can clean him up, but he's still just kind of, he looks like he doesn't come from money. So he doesn't carry that look well. So
Good old boy.
Obviously. I
yeah.
don't like anybody here.
Probably so. Yeah, I think you would hate each and every one of these people, except for maybe
Joe's
some of the
sulking in
trainers.
the corner.
Yeah, fancy party, dumb, me no like. So, yeah. So people, and as with Luca, they're just like, oh, okay, like again, just more confused. And then when Tamaki steps out, there's some really confused looks. Like sheep just walked in on its hind legs.
You know that there's a clapping.
No, there's none. People are not sure what to make.
In my head, there are clapping.
In your head, I have no doubt that everybody is swooning, for sure.
There's at least one.
At least one.
So yeah. Hooray for fancy parties. What would you guys like to do at this fancy party?
Well, I guess
Honestly, I didn't do any research, so I kind of want to. I mean, I'm gonna want to talk to people, but I probably want to go Luca's opinion on who I should talk to and what people's names are.
okay. Well, I think first we should probably start with Colonel Sanders over here and see if he has any suggestions on where to start, and then compare that to the information that I have from when I was doing my research and go from there. Because he said he had a kind of an idea of who it might have been, so...
Yep.
Alright.
So you're going. So how are we approaching the Colonel?
I just leave them at the
Fabulously.
elevator and I walk over to where he is. You said he's
So
at the
I'm
bar,
still,
right?
Like, trying
Right.
to be like, oh, I'm fancy, and then I realize she's walking away, so I hurry after her.
So I just go over and I sit down on the bar stool next to him.
And he turns and says, "Oh, Luca, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. You're looking fantastic. Not necessarily what I would have chosen for you, but fantastic nonetheless. My regards to your tailor."
Thanks, I will let him know. He was very excited about this. So, after doing some research, I have a list of who we might start talking to first, but do you have any suggestions of your own of who you think we may start with?
God, see, this is where my preparation would have been helpful. uh, so he looks around at the party. He's like, honestly, my dear, it could be any one of these dastardly villains. And he says that because he's just like, fucking rich people, man. They're all dastardly villains for one way, reason or another. Let me see.
Good to know.
And we can help.
Yeah, there's literally hundreds of people here, right?
Ugh.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
any place to start would be,
Exactly.
yeah.
And he's just like, well, I'll be here at the bars to nurse myself back to health on these delicious libations. Most of the owners are actually up in, we have a ultra VIP section. Most of the owners are going to be up there. Again, I just know it's one of them. I just don't really know quite who.
Okay, so you think it's one of the owners and not one of the trainers or the jockeys or someone external?
I believe that there are many conspiracies in this world, my dear. Very many. I doubt there is one person solely to blame. There's too much money going around to make that the case.
I just kind of like, I don't really necessarily look away, but my eyes just like trail off to a different direction. Like, you know how I do, like, where I just like look up and then like look back down, and I'm just like, not helpful whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wasting my time at this point. Yeah.
So,
So I just go,
you talk to someone.
You know
yeah,
what?
basically.
Okay, no, never mind. I remember. So, you... There we go. We figured it out. So, since you are the woman with the plan, you can actually spend a hold to be where you need to be, prepared and ready. I think that could apply in this sort of a situation.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually just about to ask that. I was like,
Yeah.
since we're not getting a whole lot of information here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My preparation was not what it should have been here.
That's okay.
I underestimated the number of names and shit that I would probably need
Yeah.
by like 1,000%. So that's my bad, and I apologize. So you look around and you do see that there are again, you recognize a lot of the faces, and you see over in one area there's a couple of people that grab your attention right away. There is Reese Jones, a very, very blonde-haired, blue-eyed German, very rich. He made his money from, well, he was born into the money. They have steel foundries in Germany, and they sell all of that to like BMW and other automakers to make their cars. Yeah, we're going to go with that. He was married into it. His mother was actually American, or his father was American, but his mother, who had all the money, was German. Shut up. I'm making stuff up as I go along. What do you want from me? I think I'm doing pretty good. Do you want to run this game?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Shut your trap. Make fun of mine. I know it's not German. Shut up. So you have Reese Jones. We're going to go with Jones. And you see him speaking, and he's kind of looking around. It seems a little suspicious, but it's hard to tell because he's German. They're always kind of suspicious, let's be honest.
What the hell?
And these sorts of things are always kind of suspicious.
What about Mueller? Would that be better?
Mueller. I will. Okay, sure, Mueller. We'll go with that if it makes you feel
I
better.
already wrote down Jones.
Well, so did I, but I'm changing it to Mueller, apparently.
Fine.
So.
Start writing pencil and not pen.
Yeah, I know, right? That's definitely something I need to fix. And he is speaking to, let's see, Luciana Squires, who you know is a Spanish woman. And she, again, comes from money, quite possibly descended from the Spanish royalty in some way. Not really clear on those connections. Claims it, but can't really prove it. But no, she's rich enough, nobody questions it. They just go along as long as the money keeps coming. They don't really care. And they're over in a corner kind of speaking to each other, looking slightly suspicious, and there is a trainer with them that is Effie Newton, and she's one of the trainers for Luciana's horses. She's one of them. She's the head trainer. She's actually from Kentucky, so she does have a little bit of that Kentucky sort of accent. She has, well, you know what? I don't think I finished with Luciana. She's very much the Selma Hayek. You know, long black hair, very tall, very slender. All of just Selma Hayek. Effie Newton. Effie Newton is kind of mousy. She's not very tall. She doesn't really project much. As far as if you were to look around a room, it would be very easy to overlook her. She's just kind of plain Jane, very normal sort of person among these mostly very, very, very attractive people. So she stands out in that juxtaposition at this point more than anything else.
Among me.
Do what?
Among me. She looks very plain. I get it.
Everyone looks plain compared to you.
Exactly. So, yeah, she stands out more for not standing out in this environment. And she is definitely one of the trainers for one of Luciana's horses, which is... Hold on.
Goldshire.
No. It has to be super ridiculous.
Its name is Chick Flick.
Let me see.
Something went wrong.
I like that one. Did you hear him?
Something went wrong.
Yeah, I like that one.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna find it.
Something went right. How about that?
Oh, I really
It's a
like
horse
that
named. It's a horse named Foreboding.
It's you know what? The horse's name is Red Herring.
Oh, okay.
Which is only funny if you know why that's funny. So it's totally in context, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So
The next one be Straw Man.
you see them, and then exactly, and so they're the ones. They stand out more prominently to you as people who potentially could be with that. You know that Reese has actually been buying up lots of artifacts lately. Some that are possibly magical. Is it's big news because these are expensive artifacts. So when art sales happen, it just kind of hits the newspapers, and they look like things that, through your research, could very possibly be magical. Luciana also stands out for a little bit of the same reason. She's a major art collector, and while she hasn't been purchasing as many of these suspect pieces as Reese has definitely been buying up some pieces more recently than in the past, though again not quite as many in numbers. So that'll use up your 1 to put you in the right place at the right time because you know what you need to know. So
Okay.
you've got 1 more of those because you bastards rolled too good.
Yeah. Well, I also have a +3 so now on my sharp, so that helps.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Sam is definitely the one who. I'm sorry. Tamaki is definitely the one who has to talk to people because I have a -1 on charm.
Oh my god, do you really?
Yes, I do. So, yeah. So I let Tamaki. I fill her in on the information that I have from the research that I did, which was the stuff that we just went over. To let her know because she said she was with me to find out who she who I wanted her to talk to first.
Mhm.
So that group of people is who I would suggest communicating with first.
Okay, so did you say that they were like in a corner or something?
Yeah, they're kind of off to the side. They're behind where there's like a, well, to use that cliche, a velvet rope, and really only certain VIPs are allowed in there, or their guests, or people that they're saying, hey, these people can come in anyway, since there was no +1 for most people. Um,
I assume we can go back there.
well, you can always try. There is a big burly bouncer guy, not the Jason Statham guy, not him. I don't know where he is. He's probably off snorting coke in an alley somewhere, I assume. I mean, he's a limo driver. That's what they do, right?
What if he just likes driving?
I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he just likes coke. You don't know. He doesn't even have a name. He can't have a backstory, okay? I can't come up with a backstory for everybody.
Jeeves.
Jeeves. No, that's too obvious. We're just going to keep calling him Jason. His name is definitely Jason. Last name pending. Okay.
Pending upon review.
Exactly. We'll figure it out if we ever need to. So.
Jason pending. Got it.
And writing that in pen so it never changes.
Let it be
Okay.
known. So let
Okay,
it be right
Tamaki, go. I'm gonna
So, I
drink
guess,
this bourbon while I wait for you to come back.
I guess I'll make my way to the bouncer.
Okay, and the bouncer is there. The big, very large guy. You know, in Lilo and Stitch, the Bubbles, the caseworker.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Oh.
Very, very large gentleman of color in a black tuxedo. Very, very large man. Sunglasses. He's got the earpiece in because he's clearly security. And he looks
How's the
down.
weather up there?
And are you just going by yourself?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. So what's Joe doing during all of this? Just kind of hanging out.
So, I kind of want to use one of my new moves to, like, kind of get a read on one of these guys.
Okay.
Because I have telepathy now.
Yep.
I kind of want to just use that to see if I can investigate a little bit more. Is the Colonel still around, actually? Because I didn't really get to meet him when he
Yeah.
visited.
He's
is
sitting next to me at the bar drinking bourbon.
Yeah, they're both
I don't-
enjoying a nice glass of bourbon.
I don't feel like he knows me, right? So,
Well,
I
I mean,
wanna-
he knew about the rest of us.
He talked to Doris.
Yeah.
oh, so
Yeah.
he does know me.
Quite possibly. I mean, he's very connected. He has enough money that he can get information that others maybe shouldn't be able to get.
Good to know that our organization will sell us out, but
Well, think of it this way, though. Who pays for the UN?
fair,
Everybody.
fair.
Yeah. So think of it in that way. It's a big organization,
I thought it was the
multinational.
aliens.
So everybody kind of chips in a portion of their budget that's not really talked about every year goes to pay for their services. So with enough money and enough connections, you're not necessarily paying off the organization, but you know people who know things. And then they can get you to talk to other people who know things that could potentially get you to talk to people in the organization. You know, that sort of a thing. It's all about who you know, and money can make it very easy to get to know people.
Well, and it's really more trying to keep the supernatural as a secret anyway, not necessarily us. Like, if they already know that that sort of thing exists, then it doesn't hurt anyone to know that we exist.
Potentially, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, it's not necessarily that he's like buying off the company or the company's selling you out. He's just rich enough to know things. So
He drinks and he says things.
exactly. But mostly he drinks. So yeah, so you did decide to go with the telepathy because you were between telepathy and the sight, and I wasn't sure which. So
Yeah.
Definitely
Telepathy is what I decided on.
Gotcha. Okay. So that will allow you to investigate a mystery or read a bad situation without needing to actually talk. So you can also manipulate someone, but you still have to roll as normal to manipulate them. It's just more subtle at that point. So you want to investigate a mystery? Is that what you're wanting to do? Or
Yeah.
read a bad situation? Well, I guess really investigate a mystery would be more.
Honestly, it almost seems like either or would pertain to this situation to kind of get a read on, I guess, the folks that are in this room. So doing would reading a bad situation in this kind of give me more of an idea of who to watch?
Potentially. The questions you can ask there are, yeah, because investigate a mystery is more for when you're on site where something did or is occurring. Um, read a bad situation is more for, really should have been investigate in some way. Because it has what's my best way in, best way out, any dangers we haven't noticed, what's the biggest threat, what's most vulnerable to me, what's the best way to protect victims. I mean, both of them kind of apply. So either one really.
I think I'm gonna go with read a bad situation.
Okay.
So let's see.
And that would add your sharp.
Which, oh, that was very close. I rolled a 7.
Rolled a 7, your sharp is 1, so that gives you an 8.
No, I rolled 7 total.
Okay, so you rolled a 6 and then you had a +1. Yeah, that was very close. Okay, so you can hold 1, and that can be spent to ask one of those questions. What's my best way in, best way out? Any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable? Best way to protect the victims? Let me see. So the really cool thing on a 12 plus, you can ask any question you want, which is really cool. Yeah, I'd never noticed that, but apparently the rolls are going to start sucking now. So.
Like who did it?
Right, exactly. Like who's fucking doing all this shit? I mean, you still have to work to stop it from happening and things, but.
Colonel Mustard with a candlestick.
Exactly. His name is Buford. How many times do I have to tell you guys?
Yeah, but
Colonel
it's funny.
Buford. Hey, I'm pretty proud of Colonel Buford, Atticus T. Buford, J. Buford. See, I forgot it.
That'll be nice.
Because it's Southern, but it's just not. It's not Colonel Sanders, which it could have been, but it's not. So screw you guys.
Giving them names until you completely forget what it was.
I know, right? That's why I wrote it down in pen. That means it doesn't change.
Maybe you shouldn't get pencils then.
I know, right? Go back and change shit. I already changed it 3 times anyway before I settled. So, all right. So, which of those questions do you want to ask, or you can hold it and ask later?
I think I'm actually gonna hold it.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I've got an idea for it for later, but
that's perfectly okay. All right, so
other than that, I'm just gonna continue drinking my
yeah.
bourbon.
So, I mean, as you look around, it doesn't seem like things are particularly dangerous at this point. You don't really get any odd feelings or anything of that nature. So, but you're of course going to remain suspicious. Okay, Tamaki. Back to Tamaki. So I'm assuming. So the 3 of you. So you've got Luca, Joe, and the Colonel, all sitting down at the bar, drinking bourbon. I'm assuming. Just
yes.
totally avoiding everybody else in this place. Okay, Tamaki. So Tamaki approaches the bodyguard, and he just looks down, and he's like, "What?" And considers Tamaki. Just, you can't really tell what he's like, what's going on, because he's got like big Oakley sunglasses, super cliche shit. So you can't really see his eyes or anything of that nature. He's very stone faced. He just says, "What?"
You want me to read his mind?
I think I'm just gonna shut up. I think I'm just gonna walk I like try to walk past him, honestly.
Okay. So as you try to walk past, a gigantic hand reaches out in front of you and says, "No, you're not on the list, I'm sure."
But I want to. I can hear her saying that.
Okay, so shut up.
And he just
So
and he
I'm kind of
gently he
wondering if
gently
it.
pushes, like it's not clearly he's not shoving, it's just a gentle push, but he's so fucking huge. It's just like, "Oh god." And you have to like make sure you stay from falling.
So I guess I'm gonna roll to manipulate someone.
Okay.
I think that's my best move. I think it's add charm.
Yep, you would add charm. Don't you get that changed to something else, I thought, though? I was thinking
No.
you did too. No, because your charm is fine, because you're so goddamn charming.
I know, right?
Wait,
So,
did Sam level up?
Yeah.
What did you do for your level up?
I got something from someone else, from another player.
Oh.
Nobody can lie to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be cool.
Yeah, she always knows when somebody is
It's
lying.
just mine. Yeah, if someone lies to you, you know it. It's from the plague. It just sounded cool. Yeah, but, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got, wait, 12.
So roll and add 3
Mhm.
gives you 12. Okay. So, alright, how are you going to convince him to let you in?
Bat your eyes.
I think I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm probably gonna bat my eyes and do the haughty thing and be like, I was invited by, oh god, what's his name?
Buford?
Huh?
Buford?
Buford? I was invited by Colonel Buford himself. He sought me out.
And he's still standing there, arms crossed, looking down at you. It's like, that doesn't get you on the list. You have to be on the list. So you have to remember, with at a 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them, but if you're asking too much, they'll tell you the minimum it would take for them to do it. Or if there's no way that they would do it. So this is a situation, he makes a lot of money at his job. He doesn't want to lose his job. He's not going to let anybody in who's not on the list. It's just his job. He has no personal reason for not doing that.
Okay. So I have to give him like a reason to let me in. You're saying?
You have to be on the list before he'll let you in.
Okay.
So Luca is obviously like watching Tamaki because I'm the one who sent her over there anyway. So since I'm still sitting next to Buford, I kind of like look over at him and I just go, "Can we get one person on the VIP list?"
And Buford looks over and, oh, I imagine you mean, her?
Yes.
He's still very confused. Poor Buford. Good guy, just, not necessarily prepared for a modern era.
No one's ever prepared for me.
Oh, why of course. Let me go pull some strings. So Buford walks over. He's still got his bourbon glass in, and he walks over and he's been drinking a little bit, so he's just a little bit looser now, I guess. As far as his super gentlemanly facade is slightly off now. And he walks up and he puts his arm around Tamaki, just like lightly on the shoulder, and looks up at the guard and he goes, "Jim, you need to let my friend in here now, you hear? She's a very important person and she would like to be in the very important person section. In fact, I may join her for a bit. My dear, if you would be so kind." And he offers his arm
And
out.
as soon as he says that, I'm gonna like close the parasol, put it like I guess I have a holder, I don't know, and then take his arm.
Well, you can just like hang it off of your arm, your forearm, right? Like
Is that what people do with fancy
Yes.
shit? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. So you do that, and he nods to Jim and nods to you and takes another swig of bourbon and escorts you in through and goes, "Well, my dear, if you have any more problems, you just let me know."
I'll pat his arm and be like, of course. And like batter my eyes and do all that nonsense.
and suddenly he begins questioning his sexuality. Yeah, no. Quit.
So I just like I
Quit.
look over at Joe, who's still sitting at the bar, and I just like hold my glass out for a cheers for glass tap for getting Sam into the VIP.
Dilly dilly.
Right. So Buford is in Tamaki, or they're in the VIP section. There, everybody around now is just like they're doing that hushed whisper, like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" You know, because everybody knows Buford. He's the guy hosting the party, and they have absolutely no idea who this person with him is.
Scandalous.
I know it's so
Oh,
scandalous. I mean, Buford is a married man after all.
You don't know who this lady is with him.
Yeah, they're not. They're not sure.
What they call an escort.
I mean, potentially. I mean, they don't know. It would not be beyond.
I would totally do it.
I know, right? You would be the best escort ever, I'm sure.
Hopefully you mean Tamaki.
Yes. Obviously.
I don't know with you.
That's part of the fun. Yeah. All right.
Pretty sure what
So-
you meant is you ain't got enough money for that.
No, I don't.
No.
No.
No one does.
It's okay.
I don't either. It's okay.
So you're now in the VIP section. You are arm and arm with Buford, who's taking you around and sort of introducing you to people.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like chat him up and be like talk about how nice of a party it is and how he has such wonderful guests and that I'd love to be introduced to them because I'm so interested. Not that
'Cause I'm so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
oh,
he does.
You have such lovely guests. I would love to meet all of them.
Well, of
How
course,
interesting.
my dear. How could I not take such an amazing creature around and introduce to my friends? And he introduces
And I
you
go,
as. And he introduces you
That hurt me
as. Oh, I'm trying to think. How would he introduce her? Because this is like he'd have to be like, oh, this is my my associate, Tamaki.
Okay, so I wouldn't say associate. I would make it like an up and coming person. I don't know what that's called. Like someone that he's trying to help into his like a new socialite that he's trying to mentor. I don't really know what you would say to that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
No idea. But he does introduce you around, and one person when he's introducing, he looks at him and goes, "Oh yes, Buford. You're of the New Jersey Bufords, I assume." And Buford gets really mad because he's like, "Well, now don't you go insulting me now. We don't talk to the Bufords up in New Jersey. Long bad blood back in the family line. Back to the Civil War." They took one side, we took the other. We don't associate with them anymore.
So I'm gonna smooth down his tie and be like, "Oh, I'm sure he didn't mean anything."
Well, of course. There's no harm intended, no harm taken. And continues to walk you around. And you do come to the little corner where Luciana and Reese and Effie have been kind of watching what's going on. Because they're... But to be fair, everybody has. It's a bit of an oddity with what they're seeing.
Everyone watches me.
In Tamaki's mind, that's exactly how it is. I have no doubt.
I kind of want him to be introducing me as Lisetta.
Is Lisetta?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my southern name.
It's your southern name, Lisetta. What would be the last name there?
I don't need one.
Lisetta Sugarloaf of the Mississippi Sugarloafs.
Yep. I like it.
A comes from a long family line, a very fine family, if I do say so myself. And Reese looks and goes, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." Yes, we're going to get bad German accents. The Spanish is going to be terrible, though. And
trying to think.
Effie doesn't say anything. She just kind of melds into the background. She's very awkward in this situation. She's not really used to all of this, even though she's been to these sorts of parties before. It's never really sat well with her. She just likes horses a lot, so she just kind of stands back and doesn't really say much. And Luciana, I'm not gonna be able to do an accent for Luciana.
You can do it.
I can't. It's just gonna be bad. I got nothing. I can't even come up with a voice. I'm so tired. And Luciana. Oh, hold on. Wait. Hold on.
What time of day is it?
It's evening, going on into night for sure. The sun is definitely set.
Okay, then I'll.
Did you know?
I don't know. I'll be like Guten Tag to him.
Guten Tag. I don't speak German. Why are you doing this to me?
You don't have to speak German. It's just a
Got the
form.
Canary Islands.
And is she from Spain or is she from?
I'm an
I
actor.
guess
When you're going to do a Spain.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Gareth Jameson. I'm
Hold
an
on.
actor and a voice coach, and I teach people how to.
I will never be able to do a Spanish accent. I can't. So Luciana looks and goes, "Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure to meet you. Your dress is fabulous. It's quite unusual. Isn't it a bit hot for that?"
I'll probably do a twirl. I'm not gonna lie.
And
Like,
she,
oh, thank you.
and she of course has like, black dress, very slinky, big slit in the side, just very yeah. You know what I'm saying. It's very high
Typical.
class, very typical for a very expensive party. And what do you do with the horses? You don't seem like you own a horse. You don't look familiar. I don't know you from any of the other parties.
I am an enthusiast and a jumper.
Jumper? What is a jumper?
She knows what a jumper is.
Yeah, but I don't know what a jumper is.
I mean, it's just show horses. You literally just ride around in an arena and jump over shit.
Gotcha. Okay, so that
But
makes
it is
sense.
what it sounds.
Yeah, well, now I know that. I don't know. You could have been talking about some really weird stuff. I have no idea. So you tell her, she's like, "Oh, it's not really what I get involved with. Mostly, we just train racehorses. But that sounds very nice. How long have you been doing that?"
Oh, since I was a girl, that's what we do in Mississippi. Where am I from again? Hang on.
Do what?
I just like, where am I from?
Mississippi?
Is that what I said?
Well, that's what you're telling everyone.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna say Mississippi.
Yeah, so the Mississippi Sugarloafs.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, that's what sugar loafers do in Mississippi.
Sugar loafers.
Sugarlosis?
Sugar
What?
loafers?
I don't know. It's just some shit I came up with. What do you want from me? I'm doing my best. I'm trying real hard. It just doesn't always work.
So I googled some stuff. So I'm gonna be like, is that? I don't know if this is. Do they make dresses?
Do they make dresses? What?
Okay, I'm gonna be like, is that? From the Marc Jacobs collection.
Oh, you're talking about her dress.
Yeah, I googled some designers.
Thanks. Just keep throwing me under the damn bus. And she goes, "Oh, no. I would never wear such trash. This is my own personal designer. It's all hand-stitched and made to wear for me. One of a kind, really. My lady is very good." And
So I
Reese...
cough a little bit because I have to hide my disdain and wanting to stab her.
and Reese seems very interested in you. He's just like kind of
The German one?
seems rapt. Yes. And he's just like, "So I've never heard of the Sugarloafs. Have you said you've done this all your life? Do you ever do any racing?"
No, been known to view some, but I've never partake.
Oh, I see. So you are here to see the Derby.
Yes, I have actually never been.
Oh, it's quite wonderful, my dear. You should definitely go. Do you already have a box? You know what? You know what? Just join me. Come with me to Millionaire's Row. I will escort you to your very first derby. It will be so much fun.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Are you a vampire now?
And I just no vampires
I
go
tried.
bleh
Shut
bleh.
up.
I know, right?
Wonderful.
It's wonderful. It would be wonderful.
That's what I was trying.
I know it's okay. My German accent sucks too. I'm sorry. It gets the idea across though. It's very much a cliche. So, so and you see Effie when he says this. Effie just kind of looks at him and is maybe seems a little upset, perhaps. Not overly, but definitely seems a bit concerned. And Luciana just goes, "Yes, you should definitely come. I'm sure everybody else will get a lot of joy out of meeting you."
I hate this bitch.
Good. I feel like maybe you're supposed to. I don't know.
It's working.
Yeah, good. So, but I would definitely wouldn't come dressed like that. That may be a bit much for the derby. Maybe something a little more colorful. It is tradition after all.
Of course, I'll add some white.
There was like a little accent there, and I can't even keep it at all. Like, it's just bad. Okay. So who do you think will win the derby? Do you have a favorite? My horse is the red herring. Not the best of odds, but I feel very confident in Effie's abilities that he will have a good shot at winning.
Well, I have a good feeling about. Would you say her name was Effie?
Effie. Effie's the trainer.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna step past her and be like, well, she has good confidence in you, and then I'll like introduce myself.
Okay. So, so you're like stepping past Reese and towards Effie.
Put out my hand, and
Put it out like to shake.
Way.
Oh, okay, in a feminine way, like you must kiss my hand kind of thing.
I don't know.
That's
yes.
Do that?
I mean, people do it.
Okay, I'm gonna reach out just to shake her hand and not be weird, but in a feminine way.
But in a feminine way, okay, gotcha.
I don't know.
So in my mind, Tamaki is still just very like energetic and in your face. So even this is just like a really quick like bam, hand in your face kind of thing. Like shake my hand, damn it. And Effie, as soon as your hand comes out,
I'm still trying to play the part because I feel
right.
like as a crooked, I would be kind of an actor as well.
Right, but I think there's also some things you just can't help.
Yeah.
It's kind of just you're always you, no matter what. In the end, so Effie just when the hand goes out, she kind of squeaks because you scared her. She wasn't expecting it. Most people don't notice her very much, and she reaches up and takes your hand very awkwardly, gives it 3 shakes, just a very like robotic 1, 2, 3, and then lets go. And it's nice to meet you too. I'm Effie. I'm just.
Well, she seems to have a lot of confidence in you. How do you feel?
I mean,
are you ready?
I'm as ready as anybody can be. You know, you're never really ready, but I feel very confident that we've done everything that we can for Red Herring to win the Derby, and hopefully we do. I need to go. I need to go to the bathroom, and she very nervously just leaves. Like, she's just like, what the fuck's going on? Because she's not used to people actually even noticing her, so she's very nervous and awkward.
Okay, I guess I'll turn back to the German.
Oh, don't mind Effie. She's a very sweet girl, but she's just not very social. It took everything I had to get her to even come to this party, and she still just stood by me. She wouldn't go and mingle.
Well, I'm glad she came.
Me too. She's such a lovely lady. So lovely.
Of course.
But tell me more about you.
Oh God, are we gonna go through this whole thing?
I mean, maybe.
No, we're not.
Like,
We're
oh, look,
totally
Sam
not.
just accidentally got disconnected from Discord.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we have two. I'm just saying, we have two other people that are just letting this happen.
Yep.
Just
Hey, I'm not on the VIP list. I'm drinking bourbon at the bar.
Yeah, but I'm sure. But see, you guys are both just like watching, like, that poor person.
Alright, can you fade out to them so I can have a sec to think?
Sure. So we come back to the bar where Luca and Joe are sitting, and the bartender is pouring another bourbon for Joe. And when I say another, I mean another bourbon, because he really doesn't want to be here. And he's just like, so, how you guys doing tonight? The bartender is just kind of washing out a cup. You guys doing okay today?
I'm doing better as I take another drink of bourbon.
Well, I would hope so. That's our best bourbon, by the way. Buford himself picked that out. It's from his private collection. They get several barrels every year just for him, and one of those he uses for this party specifically.
Well, I can understand why. It's very good.
Yeah, definitely. Don't know who made it myself. He keeps that very much a secret. I have a feeling it's probably his own distillery. He actually has one on his estate where he distills his own alcohol, and I have a feeling that he does it there.
That would make sense. So, are you betting on the Kentucky Derby this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't do a big bet, but it's fun to bet for sure. I hear red herring has been whispered. Like, I know the odds are not good, but they're saying has a good chance to win. The other horse, the favorite right now, is actually. I have to come up with more horse names. Is.
Bye bird.
Giddy up.
Something went wrong.
Is Artax. We'll go with that.
Our text.
Yeah, but I have a feeling there could be a horrible accident. It could be a wet track. You never know.
Well, typically when it rains and the track is wet, the best odds win.
That wasn't the bartender. That was just me. But and I'm really just making a joke because Artax was the horse in the Neverending Story.
Oh, I know.
But for everybody,
It is true.
I don't know much about horse racing. All I know is I pick based on names, and Artax is a pretty good name. I like it a lot. So I may bet on Artax, and Artax does have the best odds right now. They've been changing them pretty frequently, though, which is a little bit strange. I feel like they shouldn't change that much, but it's very much a contested race this year. Lots of really good horses, I hear. And he's still just cleaning that one glass. Just the whole time.
That glass must be really dirty, bub.
Oh, no. Well, it's really clean now. Been working on this for an hour. As many people as are here, you think would be busier at the bar, but nobody really seems to be coming up here too much. I think it might be because of you guys. You guys kind of stand out. Give off a little bit of a vibe, maybe.
I'm sure he will drink enough to make up for it the rest of the night. And I just point at Joe.
What are you talking about there, Luca?
How many have you had so far?
Hold on. We roll
Exactly.
Yeah, roll for drunk. Yes.
for it. 8.
8.
We've not been here that long.
We've been here like 30 minutes. Joe's on its 8th.
Drinking
Bourbon.
problem. Thy name is Joe.
size of the glass is a 12 ounce. I just rolled a 12 on a D12, so I'm good there.
Yeah, but this is like fancy bourbon. You're supposed to like sip it and stuff, so you're not getting like a ton in there. It's not like a tumbler full of bourbon.
It's probably like a shot, so 1 ounce.
See, my character does not sip any kind of booze.
Right, but you're only getting 1 ounce per glass. Yeah. You're just downing it. You're like doing shots. But it's supposed to be like bourbon on the rocks.
Right. So he's one of those. He's one of those people.
Is Luca close enough that she can smell my breath? Like, just smell the bourbon on me at this point.
Yeah. Did you sit next to me, or did you sit on the other side of Buford?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, you can probably smell me from either direction or wherever
right.
I'm at.
He just smells like a distillery.
Hopefully we get that ride home, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys are set.
Someone call Uber.
Well, no, because Jason is somewhere all coked out of his mind waiting on the call to come get you guys, so you're good.
That sounds reassuring.
So,
I forgot about him.
And as you're having this discussion, the camera swings out from the party, goes out over the river, and we're going to end it there, because we've been going for 2 hours, roughly. We're just about to hit 1 o'clock, and that is generally our limit. I am sitting! Stop telling me to sit.
What?
The wife is brushing the dog, so...
I was enjoying the dinner party there.
I know. Well, we'll come back to it. We'll definitely pick up here where we left off. Just, I know everybody's got places to be, things to do, things to prepare for, naps to be had, that sort of thing. So we are going to go ahead and drop it off there for anybody listening. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back. We're not playing next week, are we?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, because that'll be the second. So we'll probably be back the following week, which is June 9th, and we'll pick back up onto the second part of Spooky Archives Part 3, Doom at the Derby. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye.
Doom at the Derby?
Doom at the Derby.
Bye.
Doom at the Derby.
Doom